Top 10 Strongest Naruto Characters. Some of the greatest fights in anime have come from the Naruto series. From the Chunin Exams to the Fourth Shinobi World War, we were captivated. So many techniques and abilities, Ninjutsu, Taijutsu, Genjutsu, these abilities made every fight unique and had us all on the edge of our seats. But like so many others, I'm sure we've all wondered what would happen if these characters fought each other. Who would win? Who's the strongest? Well, we're going to rank our favorite shinobi here today and see who reigns supreme as the greatest warrior of Naruto Shippuden. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the top 10 strongest characters in Naruto. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media accounts. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. First off, before we begin, I'm ranking these by what I've seen and by personal opinion. This isn't meant to invalidate anyone else's opinion. If you disagree, then I respect that. I even want to hear what you believe, so be sure to leave your own top 10 down in the comments below. Now with all this out of the way, let's get down to it. Number 10, Gaara. Fifth Kazekaze of the village hidden in the sand, Gaara has had no easy life. From his premature birth, he's known nothing but hardship. From the death of his mother during his childbirth to the assassination attempts by his father, Gaara has had to fight for a long time, and that fighting calloused over his heart for quite a while. So it's no wonder that he makes this list. Having been a former Jinchuriki, Gaara has fought against Naruto on many occasions and has even died once and come back after losing Shukaku to the Akatsuki. But even without his tailed beast, Gaara is a force to be reckoned with. Despite having very little experience in war, he stepped up during the Fourth Shinobi World War and was one of its unifying members. He fought during the final battle against the Ten Tails and has been shown to be very close in power to Naruto. His incredible growth and will to continue going, as well as leadership qualities and all-around badassery, has earned him a spot on the countdown. Number 9, Jiraiya. One of the 3 legendary Sannin, our pervy sage has mastered not only ninjutsu in sage mode, but also the art of the written word. A novelist best known for his work Make Out Paradise, he has been known around the world and fought in many battles. He's best known for being both the mentor of Minato Namikaze, Naruto Uzumaki, and Nagato, also called Pain. A user of sage mode, he could never balance it, and thus ended up with more frog traits than the women cared for. But his strength was legendary, being praised by friend and foe alike. On a quest to find and teach the child of prophecy, he has had many students and taught each of them the best of his ability. In the end, he was no match for the 6 Paths of Pain, which killed him in Amagakure, the village hidden in the rain. Despite having passed, his memory and the gutsiness that he possessed and passed down to Naruto will live on for generations to come. Number 8, Itachi. Former Anbu captain turned international criminal, Itachi is a man who bears the weight of the entire shinobi world, as well as its violence, despite being a natural-born pacifist at heart. To maintain peace in Konoha and to safeguard his little brother, Itachi took on a mission to destroy the entirety of his clan, and destroy them he did. Sparing only Sasuke, this earned him the ire of the only family member he had left, to which he embraced, waiting for the day that Sasuke would make him pay for his crimes. Possessing not only the Sharingan but the Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi's visual prowess is one of the best in the entire series, being able to summon the unquenchable flames of Amaterasu, as well as cast the Tsukiyomi, a genjutsu that can make one feel like they're living years in a second. His abilities are high enough that he might be able to take on any of the warriors on this list and possibly come out on top. However, due to an illness he possessed, his physical strength was weakened. In the end, it was this illness that killed him, as he gave his little brother one last boop on the forehead before face planting into a wall and dying. Rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. Number 7, Pain. Pain, formerly known as Nagato, was a descendant of the Uzumaki clan and the best friends of Yahiko and Konan. Possessing the Rinnegan since his early life, he was believed by Jiraiya to be the child of prophecy. He was yet another pacifist in a world touched by war and only wanted peace for the world and safety for his friends. As one of the founders of the organization, the Akatsuki, they sought to usher in an era of peace and serve as the daybreak to the village constantly drenched in an eternal downpour. Their organization grew to the point that the village leader, Hanzo, feared their power and ambushed them. Threatening to kill Konan, Yahiko committed suicide to protect his friends. Filled with rage and grief, Nagato took Konan back from Hanzo and summoned the demonic statue of the Outer Paths and decimated the Amenin. Eventually finding himself in Konoha against Naruto, he displayed all of the Rinnegan's abilities through his proxies and nearly wiped the village out. even going so far as forcing Naruto to use his 8-tailed beast mode. In the end, however, Naruto convinced Pain to come back to the light, which Nagato did by using Outer Path Samsara of Heavenly Life technique, which in the end costed Nagato his life. Considering the incredible power of the Rinnegan, it's a wonder he doesn't scale higher. But he's not the only user now, is he? Number 6. Hashirama Senju. The founding Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves, Hashirama Senju became known to most as the God of Shinobi, a title he earned through his strength. Raised during a time of war between the Senju clan and Uchiha clan, Hashirama found a rival in another young boy named Madara. They hid their clan names from each other, knowing they would eventually have to kill the other if it became known. But despite their efforts, they ended up on the battlefield facing each other, each one ending up the head of their own clans. In the end, their dream of stopping children from fighting in war seemed forgotten, until Hashirama made peace with Madara, uniting the two clans and forming the Hidden Leaf Village. All seemed well until Hashirama was chosen to be Hokage. Madara eventually broke off. Having found the Nine Tails, Madara sought to destroy Hashirama, but Hashirama was not a slouch. Managing his specific nature transformation wood release, he managed to get the upper hand and stabbed Madara in the back before sealing the Nine Tails within his wife. Hashirama later went on to capture many more tailed beasts and delivered them to the other village leaders to help maintain balance. The feats he performed during his lifetime were worthy of the moniker he achieved, as well as his spot here on the list. Number 5. Might Guy. Konoha's sublime green beast of prey, Might Guy is one of the strongest shinobi in all of the Hidden Leaf Village. Despite having very little skill in Ninjutsu and Genjutsu, Might Guy refused to give in and instead focused on his Taijutsu techniques under the guiding hand of his father, Might Dai. These skills he later passed down to Rock Lee, a shinobi that for all intents and purposes was his son on a spiritual level. Despite all the handicaps, he is still considered to be a threat in battle, to which even Itachi warned the Akatsuki not to underestimate. He fought evenly against Kisame Hojigaki, who had been one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist, but his greatest moment was when he awakened the 8th Gate of Death in his battle against Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara Uchiha. Despite the massive whooping Madara was dishing out, Might Guy broke through, even to the point that his usage of Night Guy managed to warp space and cause incredible damage to Madara, who feared he might die. This feat was more than any of the others at the time were capable of, and though it ended his career as a shinobi, he managed to survive due to the efforts of Naruto. He has more than earned his place in this ranking. Number 4. Kakashi. He was known as the Copy Ninja, and he was a shinobi of the highest caliber. This was evident all through his battles, as his all-around strength proved to sustain him against even the strongest of enemies. But it wasn't just his body or eyes that made him a deadly weapon, but his mind as well. He was the first to understand how Tobi's intangibility worked and how to counter it. Possessing not only a Sharingan, but also the ability to transform it into a Mangekyo, he showed great proficiency after it. After the death of Obito in the final battle of the Fourth Shinobi World War, Kakashi managed to gain a double Mangekyo Sharingan. This allowed him better use of Kamui, as well as his full-body Susanoo. With this power, he managed to race forward and strike a decisive blow to Kaguya, who had up to that point been fodderizing Naruto and Sasuke. Kakashi is truly worthy of his spot. Number 3. Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha was the patriarch of the Uchiha clan during the beginning of the village hidden in the leaves. He fought against Hashirama Senju many times, but always found himself on the wrong end of the kunai when the battle was over. During his battle against Hashirama in what would become the Valley of the End, it seemed like it was over for him when he was stabbed in the back. However, using Izanagi, the Genjutsu that makes illusion reality, Madara escaped his demise and began working on his plan to realize his dreams. To that end, he recruited another young Uchiha who had escaped the clutches of fate named Obito Uchiha. Together, they set to create a new world through the use of the infinite Tsukuyomi. While his craftiness is above Hashirama as well as his taijutsu prowess, Hashirama is just plain better. However, Madara does indeed deserve this spot, as upon revival, he manages to single-handedly eradicate an army. And then, upon becoming the host of the Ten Tails, he ascends to godhood in terms of power and strength, totally outclassing everyone on the list up to this point. Though Might Guy managed to deal an incredible blow to this titan, his regeneration was just far too great, and any damage dealt was quickly repaired. If we're going to be honest, nobody ever beat Madara in his Jinchuriki form, as he was merely taken over by Kaguya. So there's that to add to the resume for reasons why he should be this high. Number 2. Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Better known by the moniker the Sage of the Six Paths, Hagoromo was the father of Ninshu, which would later become Ninjutsu. He was the son of Kaguya Otsutsuki and the first on the planet to be born with chakra. That being said, it didn't sit well with his mother. She merged with the Ten Tails and sought to take it back, but with the help of his brother Hamura, they managed to defeat and seal their mother away, bringing forth a long-lasting peace. The sage also managed to seal all the power of the Ten Tails into himself, and even separated its chakra to create 9 other beings known as the Tailed Beasts. He then began to give chakra to the other beings in hopes of uniting them. They eventually used it for war, changing his ninshu into ninjutsu. Despite being a man who sought peace across a war-torn landscape, he was far from powerless and was considered second only to one other person. Number 1. Iruka Umino. No, I'm only joking. The real number 1, Kaguya Otsutsuki. Kaguya, despite being considered perhaps the weakest of her clan, was untouchable to mankind in the earlier points in Naruto history. Having come down with Ishiki Otsutsuki to serve as his sacrifice to the god tree they planted, she overthrew him instead. Who could blame her? She took the chakra fruit from the tree and consumed it herself, becoming the first person on the planet to have chakra in general. At some point in time, she gave birth to 2 sons, Hagoromo and Hamura Otsutsuki, twins. She sought to take back the chakra that her sons were born with. In the end, they managed to beat her, teaming up and using 6 paths Chibaku Tensei to seal her into the moon. However, upon revival during the Fourth Shinobi World War, she proved that she was still top dog by completely hammering the heroes. She also could open portals to other dimensions that's hinted that she created herself, as her truth-seeking ball was crested as possessing all nature transformations and enough to spur the creation of a new dimension entirely. She also possesses the Byakugan, which gives her 360-degree field of vision, as well as the Rinne Sharingan, of which all forms of Sharingan have sprung. That being said, it should also possess all the various forms of Sharingan abilities. With that said, Kaguya's strength is off the charts. Only in their most desperate moments were Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi able to even touch her, and it was ultimately Naruto and Sasuke's Sun and Moon seals that formed the Chibaku Tensei around her, sealing her into a moon created in one of her personal dimensions. Kaguya is most definitely the most powerful warrior in Naruto Shippuden, but then again, what did you expect from her? She practically invented chakra. That being said, I can tell already what you're wondering. Where are Naruto and Sasuke? Well, I intentionally removed them so other characters could have a chance to shine, as these two did technically beat all the others through the power of plot. However, I will tell you where I rank them. All in all, they're about equal in strength, which is why their final battle ended in a draw. So if I were to give them a rank, I would sandwich them somewhere between Kakashi and Madara. So I rank Naruto and Sasuke together as number 3.5. Don't ask where Sakura is. Well, that's that. Our top 10 ranking has reached its end. What did you think? Do you agree with the scale, or would you place some characters as higher or lower on the chart? I am looking forward to hearing your opinions. If you like this, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when more content like this drops. Thanks for watching.